Hello Exiles, and today I'm going to be providing you with some little bits of information to help you with juicing your Waystones and juicing your maps as much as possible. Now all of the information I'm going to give you is direct from the live stream. Okay, before we get into it, what I would like to say is if you are wanting to get a free key and free access to early access, I am currently running a giveaway on my channel. So if you have not seen this video, go check it out. It'll be in the description below and you may have a chance of winning a key. Next thing I want to say is thank you for everyone that has subscribed over the last couple of days. It has been amazing. The support has been very well, much appreciated. And if you are not subscribed, I would very appreciate it if you would subscribe. It would help the channel grow, which is what I am wanting to do over the next 12 months. With that being said, let's jump into the content. Now, with the live stream, Mark did go through the basics of actual how Waystones work and how they actually work in terms of how you reduce them. So we're going to run through that now. So first of all, first thing you want to do is you do want to transmute them, because every single Waystone I'm going to assume that drops may be normal or magic or rare. But first of all, you do want to transmute them. Now, we did state that prefixes will provide you with rewards and suffixes will provide you with danger. However, danger equals more Waystones. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. If you want more Waystones to drop, then you are going to have to put yourself into some sort of danger, and you are going to have to run a few dangerous mods. Now, what I would like to go through now is all of the currency pieces that I feel that your currency toolkit that you are going to need when rolling Waystones. Now, the first pieces of currency I think you're going to start with is a transmutation orb. After that, you are then going to want an augmentation orb, and then finally you are going to want a regal orb. Now we're going to run through these. So first of all, transmutation orb, what does it do? It turns any normal item to magic, and it will add a random suffix or prefix. If you then hit it with an augmentation orb, that will either add what is left, i.e. a suffix or a prefix. So if you roll a prefix on a transmutation, it will then roll a suffix. Based on that, that is how it works. The regal orb will then convert this magic item into a rare item, and it will then add either randomly one suffix or one prefix. That is how these three currency items works, and I feel that these are going to be your bread and butter when you are going to be rolling maps. Alternatively, you could skip all three of these currencies if you really wanted to and jump straight to the big boys, which we're going to go through now. Now, if you're wanting to just jump straight to Alch and Go maps, then you can use what's called an alchemy orb, an annulment orb, and finally an exalted orb. And we're going to run through again all three of these and what they do. So an orb of alchemy will turn any normal item into a rare item. So you could literally rare your Waystone straight from normal straight to rare. Now let's say you roll a modifier that you don't want and you want to try and remove it. An orb of annulment will remove that random suffix or prefix, and an exalted orb will do the exact opposite, and it will add a random suffix or prefix. So if you roll an alchemy orb on a Waystone, and let's say you get 5 modifiers, you can have 6 on a Waystone. So you can have 3 prefixes, 3 suffixes. You then want to then roll an exalted orb to then maybe hit 6 mods. Let's say you then get a very nasty mod that's, let's say, has reflect damage. You could try throw an orb of annulment at it, but you do have a 1 in 6 chance, so good luck. It is all variant, and it's entirely obviously what you want to do, but at the end of the day, it's what type of risk reward would you like to impose on yourself on your maps? Do you want to make them extremely difficult, or do you want to make them really easy? That is entirely based on you and your decision and your build. Now, just to touch back on the exalted orb, it will only add a suffix if there is a suffix left to be placed, or a prefix if there is a prefix left to be placed. So for example, if you have a 3 prefix Waystone and it is missing 1 suffix, if you slam an exalted on it, you will guarantee a suffix. That is how it works. However, if you have, let's say, a 3 modded item and you have 2 prefixes and 1 suffix, then it will just randomly give you one of either. So 1 prefix or 1 suffix. Now, I know I just used that example of Reflect Elemental. However, Jonathan did say quite recently that all Reflect mods have been removed. So you do not need to worry about having Reflect Fizz or Reflect Elemental on any of your Waystones, because it has been fully removed from Path of Exile 2. So no more dying to Reflect accidentally because you didn't read the mods because it's 3 in the morning and you've been doing a 12-hour all-nighter session. Now there is one more piece of currency that I do want to mention, and that is going to be the Chaos Orb. Now, Chaos Orb has slightly changed in Path of Exile 2. It doesn't do what it does in Path of Exile 1, which is completely re-roll every single mod. What it does in Path of Exile 2 is it will randomly remove one mod and add one mod. So it will randomly add, let's say it randomly removes a prefix, it will then randomly add back on another prefix. And it is completely random. I feel that this is a bit of a hit and miss currency, and I don't think you're going to want to really throw this at your maps, because it is going to be very, very hit and miss, and it is only going to be against your rare maps or rare Waystones. So let's say you have 4 modifiers, you are only going to have a 1 in 4 chance. It's kind of similar to the Annulment Orb in the fact that you are trying to target just maybe one mod to remove it and add another one. This I don't feel is going to be a very good use of currency on your Waystones. I think the best ones are the ones that we've discussed, and they will get you through all of your Waystones nicely. Now the final piece of currency that I feel you're going to need is a Val Orb. Now a Val Orb corrupts items unpredictably. So once you have got your map to the way that you want it, the best way to then push it even further. Jonathan did state in an interview the other day that there is 15 tiers of maps, and that the only way to get to tier 16 maps is by using a corruption method, i.e. a Val Orb, to be able to get it to tier 16s, which will then give you a +1 to the tier of your maps. But please take note that there is a chance that you could completely brick your map, because it may re-roll every single mod, hence why it says that it can roll it unpredictably. There is also the chance that it may turn it into what's called an 8 mod map. Now in Path of Exile 1 there were occurrences where you would throw a Val Orb at a map and it would then turn it from a 6 mod map into an 8 mod map. Your juice levels would be off the chart, but those were some of the most juiciest maps that you would ever run in Path of Exile, combined with a bunch of other things and factors. Now I feel that if 8 modded maps have made their way into Path of Exile 2, then I feel that that is going to be the top end content that you are going to be running, and I'm going to run through them with you at the end of this video. The next thing that he does go on to talk about is towers. Now towers seem to act as their very own maps that you will then need to complete. Now once you get to the end of the map, I would assume that there is then a tower that you can then activate, which will then open up and reveal an area around that map, which you can then influence with your tablets. Now tablets seem to be one of the main ways that you can then juice your maps and juice your Waystones in the end game. He does very specifically state though that these tablets are only allowed to have 2 modifiers. That is either a prefix or a suffix, which you can roll yourself and get them to be as juicy as possible. Now what he does show is that with the actual tablets themselves, they sometimes have modifiers on them that will help either increased amounts of breaches, they will have classed hands, that sort of stuff. Now there is always a positive and a negative, so there is an increased rarity in one of the rolls that he does there, but then there is increased classed hands. That one has increased experience gain, but they have additional corrupted monsters. This one has more breaches density, but also increased rarity. So there is a bit of a mixture in terms of what you can get, but as you can see here, he is putting 3 down in a very small area. So all of these maps in that area are going to be very, very juicy, and I feel that you are going to be able to juice this as much as you can. So to recap, and we're going to go through everything and put it all into one big list for you, is you either want to transmute or augment your maps in the early stages of endgame if you don't have that many alks, or you want to take it easy. If you want to jump straight to alk and go, then you can go with number 2, alk and go your maps, and off you go. Then obviously if you want to add more maps, then you are going to have to exalt them to get some more modifiers and try and run some 6 mod maps. Finally then, if you want to Val it, no balls, and try and see if you can get an 8 mod map, then that will be the juiciest Waystones that you can then run. The next thing to then juice is you want to then transmute and augment your tablets for the surrounding area. You then want to put those tablets in your tower and try and put as many as you can in the surrounding area to juice the area completely. Finally, you do want to then run corrupted areas on your maps. Now there are certain areas that Mark did say in the live stream that have been overtaken by corruption, and they are seen within your maps by having a red weird corruption tentacle like effect on the floor of the the actual atlas. That I feel is going to be the best type of series that you want to do, and all of those will then contribute towards your drops. Finally, the last thing that you could do to juice your map is allocate points on your skill tree. Now, I'm not really going to go through what points you should be allocating as to where, because we don't have the full Atlas skill tree yet. We have already seen that there are a few nodes. If you have seen any of my videos and you saw my 12 huge leaks video, there are a few good points on there. One that gives rare monsters 1 to 2 more modifiers, one that increases the volume of Waystones, one that increases the effects of your Waystone modifiers, and one that increases the quantity of monsters. All of this is going to contribute towards your drops and towards all of your mapping experience in the end game of the Atlas. And that is pretty much it, guys, in terms of what I would expect to do in terms of juicing your maps. I hope that helps, guys, and I hope that we have a nice smooth launch for early access with no server fires, no server issues, no problems. Fingers crossed, and good luck for everyone. Again, don't forget, if you are still trying to get access, go check out the video in the description for my early access key giveaway. And until the next video, guys, thank you for watching and stay sane.